Welcome to 4,000 and Counting. I am Nicky Watt, and today I am joined by Mr. J. Pitchley. Welcome back to the show, Pitch, and welcome back to all of you. We have had a little 3-month hiatus. JJ's our first guest back. Pitch, welcome back, my friend. How are you, mate?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
We're talking off air, and you texted me earlier in the day like what we're going to talk about, and I didn't actually text you anything back, but off air we just been into some very, very interesting topics, and we talked in length about junior hockey. Obviously, our families have massive ties to junior hockey in the UK. They have done for the best part of 3 decades, 3 decades. It's kind of changing a little bit now. And we were talking about like the difference of talent level and players coming through when, say, you were 15, 16, 17 when I had you boys at like the kind of Southwest Conference level compared to now. How do you find it has changed? And obviously your age group was a fucking exceptional bunch of kids. Like we had some really, really good players at that level. How do we get back to where, Pitch, you might have been first line, you might have been 10 forward on my team, like, and it's exactly the same team, like, you know what I mean?
It's tough, and yeah, like you said, we were talking about a minute ago, and I don't know, it seems to kind of come in ebbs and flows. And like I said, you look at the last 4 or 5 years, besides guys like Kieran Brown, Alex Graham, unfortunately, and guys in that kind of age group, there's not kind of a massive bunch of talent. And even I just chatted Josh Waller the other day because he played with us at Streatham, not last Thursday before. And you look at kind of his age group and the guys that are sitting in the elite league now that are of his age and trying to make that breakthrough into the GB team. And I think there is a stunt in talent in the UK, and I think it's one of those. I know, like you said, my old man and other people involved at the kind of the top aspect of things for the national programme with England, and not GB and Ice Hockey UK, but kind of England as such. I personally think there's much better things in place than what I had when I was 13, 14, 15. It was, you did the conference, you went to Hull for that weekend. If you were good enough, you got the old letter to say that you could come to do the England trials in a month's time, and that was that. You played for the national team. Whereas now there's they're bringing over coaches, they're putting programs and not hockey schools as such in place, but 2-3 day camps where they're getting all the best players for a certain age group in one rink for 2-3 days, and just trying to get to where all the other European and the Canadian and American teams are, where they're on the ice more regularly, they're doing the right stuff that they should be doing at that age to, in 5-6 years time, they're going to be able to adapt to the National League and hopefully the Elite League.
Pitch, right. So this year I hit up Germany twice, Cologne and Berlin, Brno in Czech Republic, Prague in Czech Republic, and at all 4 locations I watched junior hockey. In Prague, I watched a bunch of under 10 and 12 kids on like a development session, and this thing was like it was like the School of Excellence, mate. Like, and this was just like a local club under 10, under 12 team, the skating, the coaching, the different stations. It was elite, mate, and there's no wonder they produce. And then you go into Germany, which is I want to say it's the DNL, which is the U20 league there.
Like their development league, isn't it?
Mate, this fucking under 20 hockey game. It's like a college game. It's like a junior A game. It's proper hockey. Like everybody can skate, everybody can play. The 6D man can zip a fucking puck 80 feet east to west, tape to tape. Like just stupid stuff that you start to understand more as you get into being a better player. Like the third D pairing are perfect at reversing the puck or D to D and up. Like just sounds really simple breakouts, but as well as I do, your top 2 pair are always going to be your silky smooth end-to-end guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Start to go down, and as you start to go down the levels, your third pairing could be quite weak. They're the weaker defensemen on the roster. You would never know who was 1 and who was 6 on these 17, 18, 19-year-old kids. They could all skate. They could all hit. It was intense. It was fast. Limited penalties because the refereeing was good. It was like a really, really good game of hockey. And then the other one I watched was in Bruno is the Bruno second team, Bruno Technica, which isn't there. That Bruno had one of the best, if not the best, junior program in Czech. It wasn't that. It was a university team, so it was like kind of like their second team. Some boys in half visors, some guys in cages. I'm guessing it was kind of like their junior B or like a tier one junior A kind of level. Again, you got guys skating down there, putting toe drag spin around. It's like just the standard. And this was at like fucking 2 o'clock on a Thursday lunchtime. Do you know what I mean? Like the Berlin one was at like 11, I think 11 or 12 p.m. face off on a Saturday. Like there's ice time. And it's, I talk about it a lot. It's competitive. I think those games were 4-3, 2-1. Like no blowouts. I can't explain how much that is essential in development and growth of talent in the UK.
Absolutely. And I was going to say, when you mentioned about big going to Germany and watching hockey there, I listened to the podcast you did with Joey Lewis, and so I remember playing against Joey fairly young, and then he took that trip and went away, and yeah, listening to that and how it was in Germany, I'm not, I don't regret going to the States or anything like that, but like God, if I knew what Joey knew when I was his age, I'd have taken a trip to Germany and ended up there. Because it's like second nature to them, if not first nature to those boys. They get up, eat, sleep, breathe hockey, and they're always trying to get better.
As well, JJ, like what you saying about obviously Joey's interview, the thing that I took away from it most, they take from the top to give to the bottom, and it goes.
Yep. Yeah, and
the kid goes from 10s to 12s to 4. I think it was Joey that told the story about. You walk past and it's under 10s locker room, 12s, 14s, 16s, 18s, and then the fucking men's team right there.
Yeah.
You're in the same corridor. That's where you want to go. This is a progression. You start at U10 and you bounce. Dun, dun. One day you watch them boys, whether it be Joey's team, whether it be Cologne Sharks or whoever it is walking. It's such a good idea. And obviously, the space is an issue in the UK, the setup, whatever. We don't have
funding's an issue as well. We have it, and it was adamant, like it was there. Like during COVID, when all of that was going on, it was there. Like we got the funding. The Elite League were able to do what they were able to do. The National League were able to do that, like kind of spring series, and it was good. But yeah, like you said, these countries are getting 5, 10, 20 times the funding that the UK gets. And there's a reason that they're in the positions they're in world standings. There's a reason they're producing first round picks, second round picks, guys that are going to have a 15, 20-year NHL career, because they're able to do it fairly young. They see the talent. They know that they've got to put a skill set in place. And these guys and kids, like you said, they want to get better. They want to do it. And I don't think we've reached that in the UK yet. I think we're still a little bit off. It's not to say it's not happening behind the scenes. And as I said, I'm not massively up to date with things, but I know there are certain things happening in the right areas to do so, and I do generally hope it works out, because I think I said it before when we spoke. I said it on the previous pod, and I've said it before, of when guys like Jono stopped playing for GB, Dowdy, Davey Phillips, Ben Bounds,
Richie,
which unfortunately, as the years go on and as we've seen of recent, probably not that far off for some of them guys now, unfortunately. And the new wave of guys like Josh Waller, Sammy Duggan, Josh Tetlow, Jackson Whistle, Brandon Whistle, even guys like Kirky and Kieran Brown, like that's the next wave of GB internationals we've got, and we need to keep producing them. We need to keep producing good high-end 12, 13, 14, 15-year-olds, and just because they get to that level at 16 and are really good, they can't stop progressing, because we need to be in that pool A. We're a competitive hockey team in that nation, in that pool. We've proved it, 2-3 years in a row, and unfortunately it didn't work out. But I think we've got the players to do it and keep going up in that division. So
I thought it was very interesting that they brung Lucas in as a third goalie, only 21 years old, and took him on the trip. Not only took him on the trip, he got to be on the bench for the last game against Austria, which turned out to be the winning game. And to be in that environment, to get that experience at 21, I think it's crucial. but there's not many of him. Do you know what I mean? Like, where's the other young guys that are in amongst it? I'm hopefully not a spoiler alert, but I'm hearing maybe the potential for guys like Caps and stuff to be at this GB training camp in August. If that's the case, it's a step in the right direction, in my opinion. Coventry,
Another planet, that kid. Another planet.
Coventry are taking a 3 year look at him, and they can take their 3 year look at him. The kids are still going to be fucking 21. Like he's still going to be 21. So if he's getting a sniff in amongst that training camp, even conversation, if he makes it there, even better. But if he's been looked at and talked about, okay, good. Where's
Yeah,
where's
absolutely.
the next ones like him? We need more like him. We need fucking 5 or 6. I watched a kid. I went to Bern this year, and I watched a kid from Zug, and forgive me, I can't remember his name. This 17-year-old D man running a fucking PP and eating top line D1, D2 pairing minutes as a 17-year-old in the Swiss league, which is fucking outstanding, by the way. He went he went 52nd in the draft. He's gone to the Washington Capitals. I'm actually surprised, having seen him play, that he went 52nd. Like, I'm genuinely not joking. He could be a fucking superstar in the NHL. This guy, just big, strong, stay-at-home D-man, moves a puck, like can quarterback a power play. Just very, very good, very talented. But there was also like 2 other kids that didn't touch the ice. I then looked at their stats. Their stats in the junior leagues are a joke. Like, these kids got drafted a little bit later, but there's depth of talent. Do you know what I mean? It's not just Kieran Brown. It's this kid, and there's 2 others right on his ass. And this is what we need. It's fine having Bryn. It's fine having Kieran. It's fine having 1 or 2. We need 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s,
You
7s
need
coming through at the same time.
you need a goalie or two. You need 3 or 4 forwards and 2 or 3 D men that are, like you said, on that cusp of going to these GB camps. And yeah, like you said with Bryn, it's probably not there's probably no, like, not even a thought that he's going to even kind of break a roster anytime soon. But for the exposure and the experience, it's needed. You need guys like him to be in that situation where they're a little bit out of their depth. Looking at all the older guys that they've watched for 10, 12 years play and go, fuck, I'm on the ice of these boys. Like, this is what I want to do. This is where I want to be. This is the level I want to be at.
Getting lent on in front of the net by fucking Dowdy's forearms and going,
Yeah,
oh
exactly.
shit, there's strong here. Like,
Yeah.
because I mean, the National's a good standard. That elite league is a step up again. It is a professional. Like, Dowdy is a fucking professional athlete. Like, if he leans on you in a battle and you're
You're
18,
going to know about it.
you're gonna know about it. Like, and not only that, like, imagine you're fucking 18 and they stick you in a store next to Ben O'Connor. And you got Oki in your fucking lug telling you stories and just chirping and making you feel part of, like, he's a good guy to like make you feel a part of that. It could be crucial for us as a nation in 2, 3, 4 years time.
No, absolutely. I had it when I was 16 with the Raiders. I got stuck between JJ McGrath and Julian Smith.
Oh yeah,
Like, absolutely. Like, for me at 16, it was like 2 seasoned vets, and still to play against Jules now, fuck, how he's still going is like beyond me. But he's an absolute freak in the gym and fitness and this and that. So,
it's the need, Jules. Oh, has that been?
but it's needed. And yeah, Christ, just looking at that, like JJ McGrath, Julian Smith, Grant Taylor,
Grant Taylor, what a name.
like the guy.
Rob Jenner.
Uh, no, I didn't play with Rob Jenner at that time. No, I played with.
I think who else was there? Sean Wallace.
Yeah, Wally was there. Dog, Dwayne Newman was there. Not that year. Dog was at the
Sean,
Raiders a few years
Sean
after.
Wallace, by the way, is one tough human being. So is Dwayne Newman.
Absolute freak. Guy had hands like shovels.
Oh yeah, I see him coming towards my face once or twice. You can see there was like, fuck. Mate, I remember like, we dropped him and we tied up and I saw his hands out of a glove and I was like, I don't
Yeah,
want
as I said, I was only 16 at the time. I had like tiny hands. Well, big probably hands for the 16-year-old, but he put his hand up to mine like fucking bear claws. The guy could. I'm sure he could dig himself a hole in a matter of no time, and 2 guys had 2 shovels. He'd still beat him.
Yeah, he wouldn't need to hire a digger anytime soon.
No, absolutely not. But yeah, like you said, the experience level that was there for me. I was in a room with guys that had played in like 10, 12 years EPL or GB and the Elite League, and it was good. I learned very very quickly on what not to do, and you kind of
Yeah.
you get well out of your comfort zone in regards to, oh shit, I could get away with that at, under 14s and 16s and maybe even under 18s. But no, I'm not going to be able to do that here. The probably I think I've only been hit twice properly in practice. The first time was Jason Buckman, and it was like absolute lesson learned.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. But like I said earlier, like times have changed. Stuff like that doesn't happen. The contact in practice is probably minimal because of injuries and how kind of obsessed guys are with staying fit and staying healthy and this and that, which I get. But at the same time, you've kind of got to put yourself in those situations. And
JJ, you played in America. I played in America. That hit happens in practice fucking 7 times a week.
oh, minimum,
And
minimum, like
if it's not, you're getting fucking sent down or you're off the roster. Like,
yeah,
practice how you play over there. Over here, I'm with you fully. I can count on one hand in fucking 10 years how many times I got hit in practice. Oh,
it should happen a lot more.
yeah, it totally should happen. Maybe not at your level, right? You boys are down the levels now. You're at the third tier of English ice hockey. You've all got jobs, careers, businesses, fucking kids, families, and all the shit that comes away from hockey. None of you need to be getting injured on a Thursday night at 10 p.m. Like, yeah, I get
No
it.
way,
No,
no way,
you don't need it in your life. But if
no.
you're at national and you're in that elite league, your fucking practices want to be like intense, especially now with the amount of ice time available. We talk about the national league being semi-pro. Most teams skate 3 days a week. The elite league, most
I
teams,
think every team skate 3 days a week. I know the Raiders up there training last year and started skating on a Friday as well. So
yeah, I know the elite league have Monday off. So what we're saying, the difference in between a professional league and a semi-professional league is fucking Monday, Monday versus 3 days a week. So you get one day off on a Monday, or you probably get the Monday, Wednesday off if you're in the national.
yep, pretty
Schedule's the
much.
same. Schedule's the same. Like I think obviously the difference is the depth and standard, and we could talk about that all day long. But I think from what like yourself, kind of a little bit removed from it in the off season this year for the first time in 5 years, but from the signings that get chucked around in the elite league. I think it's going to be a better league. It's going to be even more competitive. Like the guys that Fife bring in, the guys that Dundee are bringing in. Like it's good. It's going to be good hockey. That bodes well for the guys. And this is what I'm going to bring in a question to guys like Josh Waller and Sean Norris, who now line up for Guildford.
Mm-hmm.
What do you make of those boys going to Guildford, and how do you think that's going to help like their development? Obviously, Josh is a fucking stud.
Oh, what when I
Sick
when
joke.
I you can ask Ryan, right? When I tell you this, I know he was on the ice with and it's a summer skating this, but fuck me, the kid had the puck on a string. I
Yeah.
said to Paints, like we were doing like a 3-on-3 half ice, right? I said to Paints, like I don't remember ever like just being that slick with the puck, just managing to to skate with it and it be where you want it, pulling it in, drag it. It's a different level now. I mean, Josh has been good since he was 15,
This is this
16 when
big
he
mate.
played. Yeah, when he played on the Hornets with me in the Isle of Wight and shit like that. But he's up to an absolute level. Same with Shawnee. But
Yeah.
Sean, Sam Talbot, guys like that were
Sam as
very good
well.
at years. You look at the steps they've taken from playing for Slough and then to go Milton Keynes line it up to now Shawnee going to Belfast and Sammy going to Guildford and now being all at Guildford. Digger's very, very good at producing good Brits and keeping them. Always has been, like as long as I can remember, even when, I was 13, 14, 15, getting asked to, was I around? I did have school that week to go and skate with those guys. And the opportunities are there and guys have got to grab them because, they sorry, Jason Button's just texting
I said
me.
something.
Got literally like his
Oh
ears must be
shit!
burning off that story. So
What did he say? Keep your fucking head up, kid.
no. He just texted me about next season. So I speak to him quite a lot now, actually. Quite fair bit.
Coaching now, right?
Where he's the coach for the Buccaneers at Romford.
That's
We
right.
we speak quite a bit. Have done for the last few weeks with kind of everything that was going on there and that. But
Oh, maybe you could fill me in, JJ, because I mean,
go for it. I'll
I
try my best. I think I seem to get a little bit of attention about it about a month and a half ago. Not even playing at the Raiders anymore. I was getting asked questions. So
I really were you. I understand they're under new management. I heard it was a fire sale for their players, and Chelsea picked up half of them. Victor picked up a couple. We've had
yeah, pretty much.
boys dropping down. Uh, I don't know. I know Anthony Russell, Mr. Banners on the Wall, had a interview this week. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
I haven't either, but I have heard from a few people, hockey players and parents and such that I know that it's quite a good listen. I've known Al for some time, kind of fan wise.
Is this the new owner? Is it
Well, yeah, one of the new owners. There's a couple of owners,
like a
or owners.
consortium?
Yeah, as they're calling it. But I believe Al's kind of in charge, along with a couple of fans and Sean Barry. So
Okay, Sean's involved as well.
yes, he is. So
Okay, that's interesting.
I don't know too much about it and anything like that, numbers wise or this and that. I just probably know the basics that everyone else does now. So
So for me, I literally know fuck all because, like I said, when I said I've had a break from this thing, I
yeah,
barely,
I heard.
barely switched a hockey page on. Obviously, if something big happens, the phone pops off. Someone puts it in my messages, but as just like general signings and bits and pieces. The Romford was one that kind of just stayed away from me a little bit. I don't really know too much about it. I knew they run into a little bit of trouble, and then
Yeah,
going to be under new ownership. But other than that, I didn't really hear much.
yeah, it was one of those. And looking at it now, everybody kind of made a point of, oh, the Raiders haven't announced anything. And, even from my time there, like they were always very good with their updates and signings. And they'd usually announce maybe one or two signings at the end of season awards. And it was pretty much kind of radio silence, which kind of, yeah, even like kind of looking back on it now, it was a bit like, oh, like maybe something's happening, maybe. And there was always talks. I mean, I didn't particularly speak to John Scott too much after I left, just being on different teams and this and that. But I've had a couple of catch ups with him of recent,
Yeah.
kind of since this all happened, and think I think he just decided that it was maybe time to step away, and he's done quite a lot for that team over, well, certainly my career as a Raider from being 15, 16 to where they are now. He kept them going at Lee Valley. He got them set up back at the new rink, and for whatever reason, success hasn't come in the abundances that we all thought it would, myself included. And yeah, well, you know what it's like in any sport.
Yeah.
Things aren't going right. Sometimes a change is needed, and Sean stepped away, John stepped away, and
Sean stepped away as well. Fucking hell, this is what I mean.
Yeah, sure. I think Sean stepped away probably a week after Aaron announced that he was dropping down. But I think when you look at it, speaking to guys that I still speak to, and that's just like not just the Raiders, but guys that still play in the National League, Kieran Brown, Danny Rose, guys that were, I think, already signed last year before Solway announced that they were jumping into league. I think the travel aspects, for the guys down south has just become tenfold harder than what it ever was. I think speaking to
that one was always a bit of a kick in the dick on a Sunday night.
I spoke to Jack Cooper and Jacob Ransom. I was like, bro, like we fucking got off the ice on a Friday at like 10:30, packed our kit, left the fans on. He's like, we were back at the rink at like 7 on the Saturday to go to Solway. Played in Solway, stayed up north somewhere, and then played like fucking Leeds on the Sunday. And then before you know it, it's 4:15 on the fucking Monday morning. You're just pulling back up at the rink, and then you're off to work at 6.
Which, do you know what? If you're giving the boys 350, 400 quid a week,
That was going to be my next point.
Suck it, fuck up, boys. But
yeah,
some of these lads are doing that for like 75 quid and 80 quid and 100 quid.
We did it for like 100, 150.
Well, you know what it's like, JJ. You fucking lost 40 quid before you pulled out the.
Yeah, you've got to eat, you've got to drink, you've got to fucking live for that weekend, and like it is a big ask. Like a lot of them guys now in the National League. Only obviously speaking to guys that I know and still play. Like they're all got families now, they've all got kids, and the last thing you want to be doing is being away for as long as you are during the week working, and then going, oh, babe, I'm really sorry, but like, fuck yeah, I'm in Solway this weekend and Leeds this weekend. Like, I think the times definitely changed. I think the travel aspect is just ridiculous, which is probably one of the bigger things that I looked at when I just kind of said to Paints about like I'd really want to give Streatham a crack. I know they were going to win. I know they were competitive and a good team, and
I love that.
But it was just Oh fuck me, he had a stacked roster before I got there,
Yeah.
before anyone got there. Like they were, yeah.
Just
But yeah, just it is tough, and it was one of those I thought a little bit harder about it than probably I have done for the last 2 or 3 years about a decision on what to do hockey wise, and unfortunately, National League was just no interest, and by all accounts,
someone
I'm
has to
probably
be.
not the only one who shares that opinion anymore. There's a few guys that are dropped, and like, don't get me wrong, fuck me, the NHL one is like it's good hockey, like it's good hockey, like that's without the guys that have dropped down this year and the guys that have come onto rosters to play. It's a good league.
Do you know what annoys me about that league? And forgive me, Oxford and Milton Keynes Thunder, because you do serve a purpose in.
Oh, Jesus
If you do
Christ!
serve
Don't
a
don't
purpose
even
in
get me
that
started
league,
on shit.
but no, it's a fucking gong show. Like, let's call it spade a spade. Like,
Yeah,
they serve a purpose, and they do serve a purpose in that league. You can't have a fucking team with a league with 6 teams. We've seen it. It doesn't work. We've seen it in every country in the world where teams put out and it ends up being 6 teams. It'll work for a year, and then it doesn't work anymore. You got the Who Cares Cup and the fucking Benson Hedges Cup and the this is the East London Cup and this is a kind of a bit of the East London Cup. Like, Stratton won 4 trophies before in a season. Ryan texted me earlier in the final today. I was like, of what? Of a 3 team fucking tournament. But like, what is this shit? Like, stop it.
Yep.
Stop it. Let's get a structured league where Oxford can be good. MK can fucking field a team that is competitive. Obviously, this year we're seeing the introduction of Cardiff Canucks, the
Yep.
Swindon Wildcats, NIHL one. Up north, I think we're seeing the introduction of Leeds Knights, NIHL one. So like, there's bits and pieces happening over in Wales, up in Leeds, down in Swindon. As,
They're gonna have a team. They look like they've got a good roster.
is that sorry?
Swindon. They've picked
Bunch
up
of kids.
a few guys from kind of Bristol, Gosport, Swindon, Oxford. Well, fuck me, I think they pretty much kind of stripped Oxford back to fucking a shell again. But that's unfortunately what happens when a new team comes into the league. The guys that are travelling that might live a little bit local to Swindon.
Yeah.
The kind of the diversity of a league and the players just kind of goes. So
I think the top end of that league is very, very good. And you know what the problem is? The problem is a lack of finances, lack of funding. Because in a dream world, you boys don't all have to get up and go to fucking work on Monday. Maybe you can do 4-day weeks or whatever, but you'd have to be paid accordingly.
yep.
There is definitely a funding not being an issue here. Let's say funding was money. Yeah, we're good. We're good with funding. There's definitely a fucking league somewhere with Streatham, Chelmsford, Invicta, Billingham, Whitley Bay, Aberdeen, like Dundee's Comets, there's a fucking very, 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 very good hockey league there with just the talent levels of those specific teams alone. Now, the problem that we have is there is no funding, so guys at that level now don't want to commit. But if you boys were making 300, 400 quid a week to play at that level, because that Aberdeen sell out, Streatham sell out, Chelmsford nearly sell out, Whitley Bay nearly sell out. Like, we start talking Dundee Comets, Edinburgh Capitals bring 2,500 fans in a game. Very, very good. Edinburgh were absolutely brilliant on the weekend that I watched them in the Scottish playoffs. But like, when we're talking about getting competitive games and rivalries, imagine fucking Streatham Whitley was a game. Like, talk about like a 85, 100-year-old fucking rivalry in the UK. Like, that Aberdeen is like nothing I've ever seen at amateur sport in my life. It's sold out every week.
Yeah, Flaney tells me it's a bit of a
Everybody's got a jersey. Everybody's got a fucking banner. Everybody's got a foam finger. The queue at the pylon at the fucking door, like, you get your skates ground at the ring. Just everything's like in house and it's so well done. That could be like, that could rival the national, not in terms of talent level, because obviously the nationals are actually going to have that. But if we're looking at levels and things to do across the sport that could perhaps in 10 years have an impact, like, that would be such a sick league. And I know logistically it's a nightmare, travel's a nightmare. maybe you could make it work with one game a weekend, still like a 28 game season, or however you make it work. You know, you're home one way, kind of a bit like Sunday League footy style. You're home one week, you're away the next. You're home one week, you're away the next. No midweek fixtures, but you do end up with super competitive hockey because people are sleeping on that SNL.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I've
I was
heard
at
it.
I
Heard
was
it's
at your
very good.
weekend, wasn't I? I was at your weekend, and then a couple of weeks later, I was at their weekend. No fucking difference. Like,
I mean,
not
besides the result for our weekend, I thought Ali Pally was good. Apart from, yeah, as I said, apart from us kind of,
you boys were fucking terrible.
oh, don't even. We were just had a
Just, do you know what? And it is, and that's probably on the back of 3, 4 years of winning everything and being in the fucking Who Cares Cup
Mhm.
against Invicta and Chelmsford. That no one gives a shit. It's not,
Yeah.
you know how it is, JJ. You're fair. We've all done it. Playoffs, league, whatever cup's available, the National Cup or the EPL Cup or an NHL One Cup. But the cup that's got 10 teams in it. When is a cup that's got 3 teams in it or 14? For you boys, obviously this year the big one was the Coventry playoff finals weekend. That was the one. That was the one that Solway have put a stop to for the last couple of seasons. You then join, you become champions of the entirety of England. How did that feel? And talk us through that, like the whole getting there. It was obviously what Paints wanted. It's what Ryan wanted. It's what the veterans on the locker room like. That was their whole season was that,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
it's a lot of pressure.
it was all that was spoken about from like the get go. It was like this is where we're going to end up. This is what we're doing this year. Like that was like the fixation point. Yeah, everybody wanted to win the league, and very thankful we done that. As I said, I'd love to have done the five and won the playoffs, but you know it wasn't our game against Gosport, and they played very well. But
I don't want to do Gosport a disservice when I say you boys are shit. Gosport were great.
no, I said this to Anthony Russell when we spoke about it. They come with a game plan. We beat them 4 for 4 that year, last year, and I don't think there was a game they were ever really close to us. Even at Gosport, which they tend to kind of dominate on because it's quite a small rink and they know how to play there. But no, we had two very good games there. We had two very good games at Streatham, and I don't know whether that was taken into account when we got to Ali Pally, but or whether it was a new environment and this and that or whatever. But yeah, something didn't feel right that day. Something was off, and yeah, the result showed. So
I think I
no,
said
obviously,
we went for food after we went for food after JJ. We all sat, we had a conversation, and I said, "You boys had no fucking jump." Like it was bizarre. Like it was you just, and this is the thing, and we talk about pressure. There's an expectancy for you just to be in the final.
yeah,
And
pretty much.
sport doesn't work like that. Sport has other ideas. Like you don't just get in the final.
No chance.
And I'm not saying you boys didn't work hard or you didn't try, but just it was flat. Like it just didn't. Nothing transpired. Anything that you tried. Like I thought Gosport or Solent. Sorry, Gosport. Show my age. That's just throwing it way back. But Solent, I thought they were exceptional. I thought Alex Murray and his boys did a really good job. But then I thought in the final the next day, Chelmsford done to them what you should have done to them. Chelmsford showed what the difference should really be between like yourselves and Chelmsford and the third, fourth, fifth place teams. Like there should be a considerable difference with the rosters that you have.
I mean, by all accounts, Chelmsford were on a rampage that weekend anyway, so I think it'd have been a much better final, us two. But yeah, they had a cracking weekend, and hats off to them for winning the playoffs.
So it brings me. Obviously, we look back and you win that. How was it winning at Coventry? Obviously, you would have been. Did you ever go there as a player in the EPL?
Yeah, so the last time, not the last time I raised it there, but the last time before that, prior when the Raiders were there, my old man was still playing, and when they had, I think probably what was the last third and fourth place game when fucking Mark, yeah,
I was
Willie and
saying,
fucking went to town on each other for like 10 minutes, and
by the way, the best fight I've ever seen in the UK. It's not even fucking close.
I mean, I was a kid standing at the top of stairs, and it was pretty fucking intense, pretty nuts situation to watch. And I'd seen a fair few hockey fights as a kid, but yeah, the atmosphere, the kind of event and everything. And obviously being a kid, I didn't know the backstory until probably 10 years later. But
Yeah.
Jesus, that was just a battle of just fucking two absolute fucking beasts.
Nonsense, mate. And do you know what I love? Like, so I think Chucky sponsored Norm's jersey for the charity game last year. And this is what I love about this, though, yeah, because I asked them both to play in the very first charity game I ever did, and they did, and they came down. And you talk about good sports because obviously these boys hadn't seen each other in years and stuff like that, and that hatred was running deep for a while there. Like it was no joke. Like there was eye gouging, there was bite. Like this was a street fight on the ice. And do you know what? The whole time I was sat on the bench fucking sulking because Woz wouldn't start me. Because we knew what was going on, and I was like, I'm still drunk. You should just start me.
Yeah,
We
I can well imagine.
I could get kicked out of the game after 4 seconds, and I could get back to the bar because
I, I don't actually remember how that game ended. Like all I remember from that as a kid was the fight, and that was that. I don't remember how the
do you
game
know how
ended.
it ended? And you will know how it ended because I'm going to remind you. Adam Dobson and Moffat in the handshake
Yeah,
game,
I do. Yeah, I do remember that.
trying to fight whilst both equally falling over. And that had gone on from I was there, so the night before at the command van, these boys just start like, I don't know, a bit of fucking golden bitterness. Whilst we're at 4 a.m. trying to get a bit of chicken on the way home. And they start like rolling around on a command van. And it just I was in a handshake line behind them and I was like, shit, they're gonna go. Maybe this game's not so bad after all.
Unreal.
And then it was the
What
worst goalie fight. I don't know. Actually, maybe Metam and Lorde, that was pretty close. That was a bad goalie fight. They fell over pretty quick. Pitch, you got this summer off. You're starting a new business. Talk us through that, and maybe give yourself a little time. Give yourself a little time pump. Maybe see if we can drum up some business for you on the pod.
drunk them up? Yeah, no. I wouldn't say it was kind of a spur of the moment thing. I think the how quick it kind of snowballed probably was. It was, I'd since COVID, I'd been back on a building site doing this, doing that, and it just a lot of driving and not much money kind of coming in for it. And it was like, fuck, I sit in a van for probably the best part of maybe 4 to 6 hours a day, like not being paid anything and still doing a full day's work. And it's just like, oh fuck this, I'll give it a go. So went all in. Went and bought a van the morning after Coventry. Yeah, bought a van the morning after Coventry. Kind of went all in on it. So
Yeah.
it's going well. But as everybody knows who's self-employed, it's a slow burner. And yeah, by no means am I kind of finished with doing what I'm doing. I want to make it as good as I can, and the financial freedom's still yet to come, as everybody does it, or sorry, the reason everybody does it. So
What about hockey wise? What's next? Still planning on sticking around on that level. No,
yeah,
no intention of
you know,
stepping back up.
the conversations were had, and it was once again it was kind of a thought, but yeah, I think it's just the travel aspect. Like I'm 30 now. I've got a new business to run. I've got things to do, and unfortunately, hockey's not the top priority in my life as it was when I was 15, 16, 17. And
Yeah.
other things do come along and times change. Hockey will always forever be a huge, huge part of my life, even when I eventually stop playing. But there are other things that come along, and I need to give a little bit of time back too. And I'll still play hockey, but I've now just got to try and balance it out a little bit better with a business and working to pay the bills and kind of create a bit of a life for myself for the next however many years.
Yeah, that's good. And obviously, I'm sure Stratton fans would love you to go back there. You talked to it a little bit off air actually about what a great decision it was to go there. Can you kind of elaborate a little bit more on and it being like a good decision and being part of that environment that they got there, that winning culture, but also like the banter culture. Like it's a group of boys, it's a group of lads, everyone gets on.
You've pretty much hit the nail on the head. Obviously, speaking to Paints and Milts as much as I did and have done. Sorry, Paints is probably my best mate at hockey, and we played together when we were kids at Bracknell. We played against each other for however many years when he was on the island and at the Bees, and I was at Romford, and Basingstoke and Bracknell, etc. And it was always going to happen, and I think it was definitely the right time to do so. After I left Romford and went to Bracknell, I think that was kind of a point to prove that I could still play at that level, and I could. I had a good year that year, not a fantastic year personally, and obviously not a fantastic year from a team perspective with how that ended up. But no, I don't regret my decision going there, and I don't kind of look at it and go, no, I shouldn't have done that. I should have stuck it out at Romford, even though they made it to Coventry that year as well. But no, making the drop was, I think it was a bit of a shock to the system for me, really. The hockey was like far better than what I remember it at 18, 19 playing NHL one. The standard and the competitiveness, even this year, or last year, sorry, the guys said that the jump up from the previous year when they were run away with the league, it was much better. Like the point production was far more spread out across the roster last year than what it was from the previous 2 or 3 years, whether that be, Vanya not being there or unfortunately Dingle getting injured when he did. But, Ziggy Beasley had a breakout year. Guys like Luke Brill that, honestly, like he was scoring for fun for some weekends. Ryan, when he come back from his surgery, was scoring and just playing just like really, really good hockey. Another key one, probably Luke Brittle. Played against Brits for quite some time as a kid because he was obviously up in Telford as a junior, and we did the England camps together and the GB camps together, and he was a cut above the rest.
He's good.
So, yeah, having him back last year was like absolutely detrimental for us.
Great guy as well, eh?
Oh God,
just a fucking beauty. It's the whole family, mate.
Yeah, just an absolute beauty, and I won't pump his ties too much because I secretly can't stand him, but I love him. Just undercover funny, like sitting in training paints is talking about saying someone says that. It's always fucking Britsy. Someone, no matter what he says, he's the worst drill wrecker I've ever seen.
Oh, George,
never put him at the front of the queue, never. But yeah, no, it's been really good. As I said to you earlier, like, guys like Ryan. I played with Ryan when he was in his prime at Bracknell and Slough, and to see him still playing now and still being fucking really good is great. Jeffy, Paints, Jordan Gregory. I think I was more excited to play with both Ely Newmans because I've never played with them. I'd only ever played against them. I knew how fucking good they were. But being on the ice with the pair of them was very, very special.
I'm not being in the dressing room with them too. Different class, right?
Fucking honestly, I can't even when we won the league.
Just be careful.
Honestly, it was a fucking circus, and I loved it. I think we went to the pub after we won the league, and then the cup the following weekend. So I think there was 3 Mondays in a row. I was still buckled, getting picked up at work at like 5 just fucking sleeping in the van. It was it was a good crack. I massively enjoyed it, and Dawn and Graham run a very, very, very good ship down there. You get treated like absolute professionals. You get very much looked after. The thing that, and I always liked it looking from an outsider's perspective when I was at Romford, and everyone's like, "Oh fuck, Stratton won the league again. Why don't they just go up? Why don't they just do this?" But being inside, like being kind of in that circle now, they don't need to. They don't. Graham and Dawn run it tight enough where guys, get looked after. If you need kit, you get kit. If you need a stick, you get. Nobody takes the piss. Nobody earns a stupid amount of money playing at Streatham. We do it because we want to win and we like being around the boys.
Yeah.
Besides, obviously, being in America and the few teams I had at the Raiders that were very special to me, and even the team I had at the Bees, I played with a lot of boys at Bracknell that year that I'd played with and against as juniors, and it was great. But the best room and environment I've been in was with Streatham last year, like second to none. Guys I'd played with early on in my career when I was kids, and they were kind of breaking through and making a name for themselves. To guys like Preston Toombs, even Ethan Lane, like guys that are really, really really, really good kids, and probably a bit like it was with Malik not last year, the year before. They're not going to be around in that league forever because.
How good is that Malik, by the way?
He come on the ice with he was on the ice with us last Thursday with Josh Waller.
Sick guy, right?
I remember playing against him last year, not last year before when I was at Bracknell Milton Keynes. It's like fuck, like he's quick. No worry, fuck, he's quick.
Yeah,
he's quick.
Quick.
So smart with a puck. He's. We were talking about earlier. I think if he carries on at Milton Keynes, if he gets an opportunity to go elsewhere and progress and develop, it won't be long before you see him on the fucking blue line for GB. He's a very, very, very good prospect.
without being totally obvious who it is, I know certain GMs and owners within the elite leagues that are fucking looking at this kid already. Like he
Good, so
he is
should be.
on the radar. Like Mark Richardson's stepping away.
As what I said earlier, those
Yeah.
top GB guys are getting to that age now where they can't keep going, and you've got to find
Dave
them to play.
Ricks dropped to the National League. If Pete's history is anything to go by, Davey's done. There's one.
Yeah,
There's one.
I've heard he's going to Hull.
Yeah, it's been announced as he's gone to
Oh,
Hull.
oh, yeah, there
Yeah,
you
that's
go.
what I mean. So he's no longer elite. He's gone to national. Pete rarely fucking takes a guy from the national. So you kind of think maybe Davey's done. I love Mark Richardson. I'm his biggest fan. That was not his best tournament last time round. Um, I'm literally Richie's biggest fan. I was his roommate with GB18s. I fucking love the guy. I thought he looked exceptional for Cardiff last year, but at GB this year, it wasn't his best work. By the way, still a stud. Let me just look down the camera and say, let me make this right. I'm not slagging Mark Richardson off in any way, shape, or form. But Mother Nature and age, as you can see from the fucking Barnet,
Even
even the Barnet, it catches up with the best of us, and we need some young studs coming in there to knock these old boys out. Oki's only a couple of years behind them. He'll be out the door. We do need some young talent coming through, and guys like Malik, he's in the wheelhouse for me all day long. Hazeldean's another one. Is there anyone that I maybe haven't talked about, like a young guy that we've overlooked? And while you're answering this pitch, I'm going to pee. Sorry, mate.
No, you go for it. Well, besides kind of like guys like Brindley Caps, yeah, there's a few floating around in the NHL one. So
Sorry, JJ. You have another kid down there that in Romford Ways. I fucking like a lot. That TJ Henderson kid's a little weapon as well, isn't he?
yeah, there's he was going to be on my list. TJ's obviously he's not unknown anymore. He's put himself out there at Coventry, and he did an exceptional job on the back end of last year. I know he had a bit of a rough start, and I think he was still kind of trying to carry on from where he left off at Coventry, which after a couple of months off the ice never never works out everyone want. But no, he found his feet and he had an exceptional end of the year for the Raiders. There's another one at Romford, Joe Tomlin.
Okay.
My goodness me! So his old man played with my dad,
I
and
was going to say that name's familiar, JJ.
Richie's a really nice guy, proper old school hockey player, Romford Raiders legend. But his boy is just the only way I can describe him. He's very similar to what I was at 17, 18. Is he knows Romford hockey. He knows how it's supposed to be played. He's physical. He will fucking hit anything. He will get in any battle, and he can score and he can fight. That's everything you want from a British hockey player.
They can chuck nuts as well, eh?
Oh God, yeah. Him and Lukey Smith had a very, very good tour at Slough in playoffs.
Oh, that's him. Okay. Yeah.
Honestly, what he kid's tough as fuck, man. Like, and he's still growing into his body. He's tough as fuck. He's gonna be he's probably 2-3 years. He's a younger version of what Ollie Endicott's turning into.
Okay, he's turning into a nice little set.
Just the start of a British hockey player. Just absolute bulldog mentality. Hits anything, will fucking stick up for anyone. He's wearing the same colours as him. Will fight anyone he has to, and he'll score a goal when you need him to. Just a very, very good hockey player.
I love Ollie.
Apart from that, I wouldn't say there's any unknowns. That especially in NHL one, most teams. Well, I won't go into too much depth, but most teams besides kind of Oxford and Milton Keynes, you got Jack Goodchild. I played with him the last half a year when he come and joined us at Bracknell when things weren't going for him at Swindon, and he's a National League player. Whether he's going to get that opportunity this year or the year after, I don't know. But I think he needs maybe another year to kind of get as much confidence under his feet and under his skates as possible to just hit the floor running at
Run
a
that,
national.
run that PP, be centre one, like just have those reps.
Yeah, I mean, we did very well last year at containing him, but he's still able to do kind of magic things. You know, being a top goal scorer in a very, very good league at, what is he, 20, maybe 22, 21 now?
Yeah,
Like,
still young.
he's
Still young.
Seb, very, very good. Another one who played a little bit with me when I was at the Bees that year. Like, stupidly good. And he's going to
Those
carry
more
on.
kids are good. I was just saying, both those more kids are good. I like both of them. There's some really good players in that National One league, and even on the likes of Oxford, they've still got some good players on the right. They're not all dusters, but the depth levels between us, Streatham and Oxford, that kind of makes a bit of disparity in the top to the bottom of the league. Whereas the depth levels between Streatham and Chelmsford and Victor Solent.
I think it's just that kind of top four mentality. It's the same with football. Well, maybe not so now with top four, but you look back 5, 10 years, or even a little bit longer than that. The top four teams were always the teams.
JJ, in my youth,
What was that? Sorry.
I said in my youth, mate, there used to be a top
Yeah, I know.
four, and everybody
Well,
else
yeah,
has
not
changed,
so
hasn't
much
it?
now. But I mean, I'm a West Ham fan, so I can't talk too much. But it's just, and it's probably the same in every country. The top teams in the league are the ones that are going to be able to attract those players, and you know, and I think it's like you said, it certainly happens in the UK. It certainly happens in NHL one. If guys are moving, you can probably bet. Wouldn't say your house, but you could probably bet a little bit money. And kind of what direction he's going in and why. I think, as I said before, when I come on with you and Mark, the farm team or the kind of progression pathway of an elite league team getting a hold of some national league guys, and national league teams taking a hold of some NHL one guys. The progression step is there. I think it's just got to be done in, well, kind of far more players to kind of get the end result that we need, which is top end Brits that are 16, 17, 18, carry on being top end Brits until they can break into the GB team, and we're able to kind of win something as a nation and up the rankings.
What would you class as a successful kind of season for a young Brit who's 18, who's not quite on, say, a bring taps level, but is a good first, second line conference U17 player? Like, I know they've changed it now to showcase, so it is a little bit different. But let's use our day. You're a 16, 17-year-old kid at conference. You're top two nines. You're putting up 7, 8 points in the conference tournament. You then get that chance as an 18-year-old to step into the National League. What does a successful season look like to you?
Well, obviously, team wise, as everybody says, and it's so cliche and cheesy and shit, you want to win. But from
Yeah.
a personal perspective, for the situation, I mean, looking at how I was 17 once, a long time ago. 17, you just want to be progressing. You just want to make sure you're doing, and especially like you said, if you're joining a National League team, you've got guys that are seasoned vets or vets a little bit older than you, have been there for some time. They've got 2, 3 seasons under their belt. And it's the same as I said to you earlier on. I was once 16, sat next to JJ McGrath, Julian Smith, Grant Taylor, Danny Marshall, guys like that were in that same position I was at that age, and it all gets passed down. And you should be a sponge around those older guys because they've got the experience, they know the right things to do, and no matter what anybody says, no hockey players are complete arsehole unless they need to be or want to be, shall I say. Everybody's more than willing, like myself included, and guys that I play with and have played with of recent, they're more than willing to pass down a bit of information, a bit of experience. Maybe don't do that, or maybe do this, maybe do that, because everybody makes mistakes, myself included, and there's always decisions that, as I said, don't regret any decision I've ever made in hockey, but there's certainly decisions that I would like to kind of look at and reevaluate to maybe make a better decision for something that was going to be not detrimental to me, but something that was going to make me become better and maybe not have to go down that hard path and enjoy that really hard learning curve, like getting run over on a Thursday night at 16 by Jason Buckland. But, as I said, it's a learning curve. And, I listen to guys like JJ McGrath and it's like, Jay, don't do that. Don't go and pick up those sticks. Go and do this. Go and do that. And yeah, you've just got to be a sponge around those guys. They've been there, they've done that, they've got the experience, and they're more than happy to help you not make the same mistakes and try and follow all the right steps to become a better hockey player. I think the fit, well, you know more than anyone being in that industry, but the fitness and the health aspect is like has just jumped up massively since I was a kid. Yeah, it was around, and I had a PT for a little bit when I was younger to, kind of get my fitness levels up and become a little bit stronger at that age when you're kind of maturing. But fuck, you got 15, 16-year-old kids now that, won't have a Coke after a game or,
Yeah,
fuck, I was having a beer and stuff with JJ McGrath back then.
yeah,
But
definitely.
it doesn't happen. Guys are eating, like kids are eating much better. Guys are, taking all the supplements and, not drinking Red Bull. And I mean, I can only say so much. I think I've probably spent more in the last 2 years on like massage guns and fucking the old pyro chamber links because, well, best things I've ever bought, by the way. I won't like anyone who's not
I'm
got a
nearly
pair.
40, fucking trust me.
Oh,
I'm waiting on
honestly.
I'm waiting on a hip replacement, Jay. Like
Oh, yeah, I heard that the other day.
this game will do fucking fun things to your body, man. Like um
Yeah, we do it because you love it.
do it because we love it. Don't get me wrong, I was never getting rich out of this game, but considering I stopped 12 years ago,
Yeah,
I've got
about
four major joints. I got arthritis. Obviously, I played the game physical because I like to play the game physical, and I wouldn't have had it any
that's
other
how it
fuck.
was back
I,
then.
I, I wouldn't have had it any other fucking way. Blocking shots, making hits, whatever. Fine. Hello, buddy. Good night. Um, sorry, folks. You got a crying baby in the background. But yeah, like just that aspect of what it does to your body. Like 12 years ago, I did my hip, and I'm just now at 38 about probably going to be getting a hip replacement. It's things like the unseen things that happen to your body, and the toll
Stuff
it
the
takes.
fans don't see, eh?
Mate, we're doing this charity thing at work right now, and it's a combined effort from like the members, the staff, whoever the fuck wants to get involved. But it's the ride the distance of the Tour de France, so it's 3,498 miles. You know, it's a pretty good fucking slog, or kilometers, whatever it is. I mean, either way, I wouldn't want to ride it on my own, that's for sure. Um, I jumped on. After like a K and a half, my hip is screaming. And I'd say like I'll do 10K. After a K and a half, I'm like, I'm gonna have to get off. And I'm like, I've got to at least get to fucking 5K. But I'm like grinding this morning trying to get
Oh,
to 5K on a bike. And that's an injury I haven't played hockey 12 years ago. Do you know, like it's some of the things the fans don't see, some of the things that people don't see, even some of the clubs. Like
yeah.
that's affected. Lucky I work for me, and lucky I'm in the industry that I'm in.
Hmm.
Because in certain other industries, if I was working for a company, like the days off that I would have had to take from an injury that happened from ice
Hmm.
12 years ago just would not be fucking acceptable to an employer. They'd be like,
No, they wouldn't fly nowadays. Like absolutely wouldn't fly.
but yeah, JJ, what do you get from that injury? Grand total of fuck all.
Yeah,
Like,
bit of pride and maybe a bit of respect from the boys that year, but yeah, not much. And I know Lackey's touched on this and other people have spoken about it. And yeah, the you could talk about the good and the bad things of hockey, both in the UK and around the world. Players need to be looked after. They need to be told that if something bad happens, if like you said, they're injured or whatever, that this is in place to make sure that you're not completely on your ass for a month. You're not, you know, like you said, if you have to take a day off of work or you're for whatever reason you're off of work through a sport related injury, there should be things in place. And I know guys are taking out their own insurance and stuff now, which is good to
shouldn't have
see.
to.
No, no, you shouldn't. But
I'm not being
guys should.
funny, right? If you're selling like fucking 2,000 tickets a week,
There should be something in place to look after the
isn't
guys.
gonna fucking go. You can't take 20 of those 17 quids from that 1 week
Mm-hmm.
and pump that into an insurance policy for your players. So, especially even at the National League, like 85 to 90% of those guys have a second job.
Yep.
That is not their job. Like they have a real job that actually pays the mortgage and looks after the kids boxing, football, rugby, whatever field it is, swimming lessons, private tuition for their kids, whatever it is, like for their families, like it needs to be protected more. And I really didn't want to bring it up. I'm going to anyway because it's kind of just the way this, like Adam Johnson's the fucking worst thing that could have ever happened to this sport, but has the potential to be the best thing that's ever happened to this sport if used correctly. Because right now,
Absolutely.
if you're a club owner, you should be fucking shitting yourself. I can't look
Absolutely.
at the camera. You should be fucking scared. You,
Absolutely.
my friend is a fucking injury lawyer. This is what she does for a living. I've spoke to him. There's a reason the Elite League didn't mandate fucking net guards.
Mm-hmm.
There's not an accident. It's not a fluke that the Elite League didn't. There's a fucking like a big legal reason and a big 0.0000000 reason that they did not mandate net guards. There is things that have gone on in this sport this year. Shane Moore did some great things with Oxford in his time there, with getting the net guards and stuff like that. But there's some major things like the last straw for me should have been Ross Bowers losing his fucking eye. That should have been it.
Oh God,
That
I
should
was
be
I
like
played in that game. That
lock
was
it
horrendous.
down, stop it. No one goes back on the ice out Monday without fucking all the boys being insured to the hilt.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what? If it costs 20 grand per season to insure the boys, you'll spend that on new sticks for fucking imports.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
fuck.
no,
Oh my God, won't you just?
you don't like those top of the range fucking barrels. Oh, those 7 grand's worth of fucking sticks you got in your store. Let's get you some CCMs or some. I'm gonna show my age. Let's say some Reeboks, some Warrior or something. No, fuck me, pitch. Jesus, get old, man.
Some Reebok.
Happens to us all. Happens to us all. But the point still stands. Like what happened to Adam was tragic, and it's a learning lesson for us all in the entire country in sport.
Mhm.
I think what you said, players have taken out their own insurance, and quite rightly so, by the way. Fair play, lads, because if the teams aren't going to do it, you must do it now. We saw semi-skate lacerations, and I know Adams was a freak because it was the neck and it was fatal. But I said it on the podcast at the time. The amount of skate lacerations that happen that you've never fucking heard of as fans.
Yeah, this is it. You don't know about it because
Because we don't tell you because someone's going to
no,
spin the leg
they're
next
so
to you.
frequent. And yeah, I won't get into it, but you know, it was one of those, and like you said, it was an absolutely horrific situation, and you know, an absolutely tragic accident. But the fact that it made mainstream news, it was spoken about, and unfortunately, probably one of the downsides of it's making mainstream news was people that had no idea of hockey and the situation or how the game works were giving opinions on it, and it was just causing an absolute uproar to a point where I stopped speaking to people at work about it or people that would mention it to me because. Yeah, the conversations are one you don't need to be having if you don't know about the situation, and there's certainly conversations that you shouldn't be getting involved in if you have no idea how basic physics and understanding of bodily movements works. Just yeah, enough was enough. Like you said, the fact that a lot of teams, both international, I mean, Christ, like fuck, when it happened, obviously everybody showed their respect and no games were played and this and that, but the safety precautions were taken immediately. You had guys the next day on Twitter in Europe and America that were CCN net guards out, Bauer were threatened. Like I think it got to a point where like you were struggling to get a net guard anywhere in the world because they weren't manufacturing them quick enough.
Oh, sold out. Like I don't think there's ever been a product in sport
That's just been unavailable in the sport. Yeah, it's nuts, but it proved, like you said, the worst thing to happen, but also a very very good thing to happen was the health and safety was taken far more seriously, and you know, for a few months it died down, and I think people were maybe playing a little bit on edge, which is going to happen. It happens in anything. You know, you speak to anybody who unfortunately has had a car crash, you know, they're pretty eerie to get behind the wheel again, or and it was exactly the same. A lot of guys were kind of fairly cautious in practice, didn't want to. You know,
until someone fucking hits you with a one-timer in the knee, and you're like,
yeah,
"Oh, so we're back." You're like, "Okay, we're back." Okay.
But no, it was.
Jason, let me ask you a question, and this is a question that I still don't know the answer to because hockey player Watty, dad Watty, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't have to, we'd still wear a neck guard. It's the fucking hardest question in hockey after what we spoke about.
It is now. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but even just after what we spoke about, like,
Just,
I Mitch, I wouldn't wear one. I wouldn't wear a visor either. Ask your dad. I wouldn't wear a fucking visor. Your dad wouldn't wear a visor. None of us would.
I'd love to not wear a fucking visor, but I literally,
The
I go
scars
for,
I've got on my face, mate.
yeah, I go for at least maybe
My visor.
one or two facial injuries a year, whether that be a fucking stick in the eye. I got a fucking split last year, fucking making a hit on a kid with a rusty cage.
That's that.
Yeah,
I can't grow a beard.
chin, everything. I'm fucking absolutely nuts. But I think I personally would. I think
You would now?
I've never been in a situation where anything's ever come close to me, but I've been cut on the hand once. I've been cut on the wrist once. Got cut right back on the Achilles once. It's
So major points near big arteries, and
oh fuck yeah,
the
like
result can absolutely be the same.
yeah, absolutely. Like it's one of those. It's one of those. It's the same as guys that box and like even guys like us that fight. You know the risks when you drop the gloves. You know the risks when you get on the ice.
Like if you drop your gloves and take your helmet off and stand centre ice with Brandon Miles, you could die. Like,
like 100%.
Chris Wiggins, like he could fucking kill you in front of 3,000 people.
100%.
You know that, but you're like, nah.
Yeah,
But deep down, subconscious, you go, Nicky Chin. If he hits you when you're coming in here and he drags you in and hits you and you hit your head on the ice, you could
you were fucked.
You could die. Like Wade Belak, Mel Angelstad, fucking Jason Bowen, John Craighead, Mike Ware, fucking any of these guys catch you and you hit your head on the ice, you're fucking you could die. But you still get on and you still do it and you do that for the team and you do that as part of your role. And
I think it's one of those. I think you do it in the. It sounds really stupid, but you do it in the safest way that you can. Like I said, there's a reason that it happens, and all right, fighting doesn't happen as much anymore, but there's a reason it happens, and especially in NHL one now, it happens for something stupid. Guys try and take a liberty with something, or somebody does something silly. There's not many orchestrated fights anymore like there used to be in the old days. But things are dealt with, they're ironed out. But yeah, both, like you said, both guys are dropping the gloves. You're doing it for a reason. You're doing it to prove a point that can't be. That's not allowed, or I'm not going to stand for that. We're not going to let that happen. But you're doing it in the safest way possible. And I don't even in the moment.
Like me and you squared up with our helmets off, both ready, facing each other. Is as mad as it looks, and as to the layman, it looks fucking nuts. To us as fighters, our gloves are out the way, our sticks are out the way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You can see me. We have a second to. As much as that's the worst bit because you're like shit.
Oh, that's right. It just fits in your stomach.
Yeah, like here we go. It's the worst and the best bit. But it's not like someone fucking grabbing you when you're looking that way on a back check and sucker punching you in the face because I mean that is what they're the ones. They're the ones that give you the concussions. They're the ones that do the long term damage. The ones you don't see coming. The ones that will actually do you some long term damage, as opposed to two guys like you say. It sounds mental, but it's the safest way of doing it. Like I can see you, you can see me. There's no cheap, there's no sly.
Yeah, and that was the other word I was going to say. That's the thing that probably annoys me the most. And unfortunately, I was victim. I use the word lightly. I was victim to two of those last year. I got sucker punched in Chelmsford after.
I think you're punky, right?
Oh fuck me! That's probably the hardest I've ever taken a punch from the jaw without seeing it. Like fucking sat me down good. But then having what was I off the ice for 2-3 weeks? So I missed 6 games. Said person got the same ban, but then the first game back after that, it was didn't need to be addressed or didn't want it to be addressed or dealt with, and then obviously a few weeks after, I think that was a few weeks, probably a month or so after that, the Invicta incident happened at Streatham, which was
talk through that.
The nutsiest thing I've personally ever witnessed and been a part of. It was.
Talk me through it because I didn't hear much about it at the time. Obviously, bits from my brother and old school stuff, right?
Fucking absolutely nuts. It was the end of the period. It was a pretty boring period from what I remember, and said person skated over to the Streatham bench and had a few words to say to Mr. Painter, which
Yeah.
He's
Not
tough enough.
that roster, by the way.
No, he can deal with his own shit. That wasn't the issue. It was who was saying it, because said person, and I had no.
Why are you protecting this fuck? Fuck him.
I'm not protecting him. I think it's a hockey player thing. I have respect for people I shouldn't have respect for, but whatever.
If I knew who it was, Pitch, I'd throw him right under the bus right now, but I don't.
Oh God, that's not a good thing. No, I think he's. I hope he's learned his lesson. He's
Well,
paid.
Fucking long year next year if he hasn't.
Oh fucking if he gets to play after the ban, but hey ho. Yeah, we just he come past and said something, and there was a few words exchanged, and like even looking at it now, and I've seen the full video with it. Like I wouldn't say that there was like if you'd have said, "Oh, something bad's really going to happen here," like you normally watch a hockey video and you know something's going to happen.
Yeah.
Everyone was on the ice, end of the period, and we kind of got over to where Invicta went off the ice, and something was said, and as I've kind of been pushed up against the glass by one of the linos, I think he's gone to stop the rest of the Stretton boys coming in, which is fine, whatever. Fucking next thing you know, I've just had a fucking stick just bounce off my helmet and visor. That was it. I've got fucking nuts. And I managed to grab him. I think I got maybe one or two in. And then next thing you know, I've kind of got down because obviously everybody's piled in with what's happening. Fucking someone has come over the top and just absolutely going Hail Mary on him. And it exploded for a little bit. But anyone who ever asked me this, I'll always come and say, like, yeah, it was fucking ridiculously stupid what he done. And that was the outcome of it. That for every action there's an equal and sometimes maybe a little bit of a meaner reaction what there should be. But you fuck around, you're gonna find out. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
Well, mate, I played that role, and if you did something like that to one of my boys, I don't really have a line. Like, if you do shit to me, I've got a line in the sand where I'll be like,
yeah, no, cool.
Okay, that was cool. You got me, I'll get you. We got 6 games this year.
Exactly that.
But if you do something to one of my teammates, especially one that can't fight, then like all bets are fucking off. Like my morality and my rationality, they're fucking finished. They're finished. But if you fucking run one of my imports from behind, like my morals and shit are fucking finished. Like I don't have any morals anymore. I will chop your fucking ankle clean off your leg while the ref's looking up at the DJ box in between.
No, you can't do that now. What? There's cameras. You'll get called up on it.
But this, in fact, this is one subject that I did want to approach with you. Obviously, you talked about the boy there. I can't remember his name. He got a fucking lengthy ban. He wasn't the only fella to get a lengthy ban last year. Let's face it. They were getting handed out like sweet you out. I was going to ask you what is the one thing that's going to need to change, but I'm going to tell you the one thing that needs to change next year in UK hockey, top to bottom. Maybe not elite leagues; they dialed it in a little bit last year. From the national league down is the fucking suspensions, because they had a pretty good go at ruining every league in the UK last year.
Yeah, and I do totally agree with you. I think there were hits that were legitimate ice hockey hits last year that were caused a bit of uproar, and guys were given some bans. One of my old teammates, Mr. Stead, was given a couple, and a few other guys given a.
I thought that one was terrible. He steps up, makes a good hit.
That hit in hole that he threw, he has thrown that since he was 15 years old. You catch a guy in the logo. You catch a guy on his left shoulder, his right shoulder, as he's trying to cut into your zone to make a move. That's a legitimate hit. That's not even a.
And the thing about those hits, they look bad. They're not. They're just good hockey hits. But as the receiver, as the guy that's on the other end of that, the only way I can explain what happens to you on that hit is you go.
Yeah, that's literally it. And as I explained to everybody who doesn't know hockey or watch hockey, it looks bad because it happens so fast. But in an instance, it happened. You get hit. You're up. You're back with it. It's not. Okay, unless you get knocked out or anything, but there's nothing to them. It's just part of the game. And unfortunately, like you said, I think they clearly tried to take that aspect away. And I'll sit on the fence of it because I think there were some instances last year where bans were generally deserved. But
of course.
But then you look at the bad
disparity though, Pitch. Like I spear you,
that's exactly it.
For me in the same play. I get 15 games, you get 27 games. And it's like, wait there, they just stood and fucking jerked each other with a stick. Oh yeah, but he slashed the guy last week. Yeah, but he slashed the guy on a fucking breakaway, tried to score a goal,
Yeah.
and he slashed his hand instead of a stick. It wasn't like a malicious. He slashed him in the head. It was like,
No, it worked.
oh yeah, but we got a tier system, and they handcuffed themselves by announcing this tier system at the start. They went right, this is it, and we're gonna do it like this, and we're not gonna review it as incident to incident. We're
No,
not gonna seek. I talked to you off air, and I'm not going to name names, but I spoke to you about someone up in the Scottish ice hockey I have massive respect for, who
mhm.
is doing a grand job as it is, but equally is willing to reach out to other people for help. Who he doesn't have to reach out, but he is. And guess what? They're
It's working.
fucking reaping what they sow
Yeah.
because the benefits are massive. And
I, I think this is the issue with below the border. And as I said, without naming names, and I won't shit on anything that anybody in England ice hockey or ice hockey UK are doing, but I I generally see I think it's a power thing. The same as, everybody's had that really shit boss they work for or somebody they know that's just a little bit of a step above himself or think that they are a little bit above himself.
it's
And
supposed to be a dick measuring contest.
well, that's exactly it. It doesn't need to be that. It should be all on one page, and that page is
Collective.
to make hockey in the UK and England the best it needs to be. And if it means that you have a little bit from that person over there and a little bit from that person over there, if it's all put on the same page and it works, nobody's going to ask you like, and you shouldn't be looking for wins in those situations because everybody, I think, certainly, last 2 or 3 years is, oh, that was my idea. That's working because that's my idea. And it shouldn't be that. There should be people that sit on that board and sit around that table to go, these are our ideas.
Our
This is
ideas.
working because of us and what we're doing. Whereas, yeah, as I said, you make the reference of that, that shit boss doesn't want to put their hand in the mix and something's going wrong or something's being pulled out. But as soon as something good's happening and somebody above them's seeing the good that's coming from that company, they're more than happy to go, oh yeah, that was me, that was all me. It's a collective, and like you said, there are people in the Scottish League and the Scottish Association that are asking the right questions because they want to make it better.
Yeah. And ultimately, JJ, we can sit on here and we can talk about these things.
Well,
And
that's
I know, but like some people maybe think we're being negative about certain things. It's
no,
not.
I'd never be negative, but he's trying to do it in the right way
Yeah.
where.
It's a deep underlying fucking love of us. Like this is
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
we've been
I
we've been
don't
in
sit here and
mixes
abuse
with this
people.
fucking
I don't
big.
sit here and slate people because I think, as a whole, if it's the same as everything. If those people weren't in those positions they're in, then hockey in the UK would be, or in England and the UK would be non-existent. And I've utmost respect for people that are doing what they're doing to make the game what it is. But as with anything, there's always room for improvement. And like you said, if you ask the right questions to the right people or in the right manner, you will get the answers that you need in order to make things better or to give it a better understanding to people from an outside view. The story
Sometimes,
will never change in the UK. What's that? Sorry.
sometimes it's swallowing pride, mate.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. The growth of the game in England and the UK should be far bigger than pride or, oh, that was my idea. That's the reason it's working because it was me, 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 me. So the aim in the UK to grow the game should never change. Is to get more people interested in the sport, get more people involved in the sport, and get more fans and grow the game. That as long as we're doing that year after year, I think that's a bit of a win. And if we're getting better in doing so and developing players into the National League and the national program to go up to the GB team and make us better in the long run, then yeah, it's a bit of a success.
It comes down to loads of things, and the number one thing that I want to see improve next year. And I know Martin Peters and his team they're trying to do this, but can't have Scottish kids paying £12 to trial for Scotland, and England kids paying a fucking £100 to go for a fucking trial.
Yeah, I heard you mention this before.
It,
Obviously I don't
can't
ever remember it
happen.
being that bad because I was a kid, but that's
It
extortion.
was never that bad, mate. It might have been a couple of £100 for the School of Excellence, but you're on the office for 3 hours a day, and you're in the gym for an hour, and you had digs, and you had grub. Like it
You were
was
well looked after at those events when I was younger.
mate.
And
Like
they were the best weeks of your life as a kid, as a hockey player. You were around all the boys that you played with or against
yeah.
that you were friends with, and yeah, it was great. If I could go back and do it again, I'd be all over it.
Myself and Martin have spoke about this on numerous occasions, and I get it. there's staff that have to be paid for. You know, to have 80 kids, you have to have 14
Hmm.
adults. I get it. And
Hmm.
then you got root, strength and conditioning. But 80 kids
Yeah.
times 100 quid is fucking 8 bags. So we
A
do
lot of money. Where's it going?
well, according to them, like, and I'm willing to give
I didn't
Martin.
mean that in a derogatory way. As in,
No,
you
no,
don't get
no.
money
But
for
I'm willing to give
various things.
Martin
But
the
like
benefit of the
genuinely
doubt.
speaking,
It
like
was
where's
like,
that going? What's that being allocated to?
this is what I want to know because I'm willing to give Martin the benefit of the doubt. He's a good dude, and I got a
That's
lot.
great. He always makes you laugh when I see him in Sheffield.
Yeah, I've got a lot of respect for him. But
Yeah.
he talks about like breaking even and stuff like that. Well, either we're paying too many people, we have too many staff, we're inviting too many kids that we now have to invite too many staff. We're not getting good enough deals on ice time. We're not getting good enough deals on food. You're not fucking shopping. Whatever it is,
Mhm.
it should not be £100 a fucking head. We do not need jerseys for trials. Like
No way. No
fucking
way.
club jersey. Do not turn up to my trial in a conference jersey or England jersey. Like, if Kieran Brown turned up to my Southwest practice in a fucking Northern Conference captain shirt, fucking cut him. Cut him. That was a rule, man. Like, don't think that you're going to come in and act like you're hot shit because you played for GB last year. Because I don't give a fuck. Because guess what? JJ Pitchley might do a fucking better job for you than for me than you will. What you think because you're going to turn up and you've got conference captain on your fucking jersey that automatically. I would rather you turned up in your Bradford Bulldogs #1
Yep.
jersey.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, who the fuck is the kid from Bradford Bulldogs #1 who just toe bagged 3 people at backhand shell? To me as a coach, I'm like, okay, I'm looking, now I'm watching. Show me what you got, #1. Like, show me what you got, as opposed to like, hey, look at me. Do you know I played conference last year? Because guess
Yeah.
what? If you were good, I would have saw you at conference last year, and I would have known you
You
played at
know
conference.
all about them.
I would have known all about you before you got there. You don't have to wear the jersey. You don't have to wear your GB jersey because you're a good player. I would know about you. And because like at our age, I would have spoke to your old man, or I'd have spoke to Bids, or I'd have spoke to my old man, or I'd have spoke to somebody. In this day and age, if I want to know if kid's good, I ring Danny Myers. Mizey, what's this kid like? What, he's got a great fucking attitude. See him in the gym. He's doing this and he's fucking eating this and he's doing that. And I'm like, all I need to know. Like, and you know that if Mizey's telling you that, it's legit. Like it's like a legit seal stamped fucking approval that you know. I don't need that kid
That's
turning up to me and like he was in the England #14, like top 14 kids and he's got a shirt. I don't need that. I need someone that turns up in their Basingstoke Junior Bison jersey, in their Romford Junior fucking Raiders jersey, and has pride that that's the club they come from. And I'm the best that this club's got to offer, so you better fucking take me and take me to your national team program. Like that kind of almost a different kind of arrogance, almost like a yeah, I'm from small town Basingstoke. Oh fuck, yeah, I belong here, as opposed to like. Yeah, I played for GB last year. You should pick me because some other dickhead that doesn't know anything about ice hockey picked
yeah.
me to play for
No,
GB.
absolutely not. So,
I,
I hear you guys are getting a full revamp at the rink now, eh?
oh, bitch! I've got a fear, mate. I've got a fear. And say that
Oh,
I said it on a podcast. Said it on a
you got to
live.
look positive. We had this at Romford. We lost the rink. Wasn't going to get one. Got a brand new one.
I hope so, mate. I really do hope so. Like it's my youth. It's my adolescence. It's everything rolled into one. Brody's fucking 2 now. He's going to be 2 on Sunday. Karen Ann's messaged me today to
These
say,
have gone quick.
"Oh my god, I know." Karen Ann's already messaged me today. She'll be like, "It's his Obviously, it's his birth. It's his birthday a week. Well, it's Sunday this week." Ryan and Joe Green last year Christmas. Fuck me. Ryan went to Michigan for Christmas.
Yeah,
Came back and him and Joe Green are kitting Brody out in a full kit. I was like,
so
yeah.
sick.
I was
So
hoping
where do you have to go to
was
stay
hoping
now
we were
then?
going golfing pitch. I was hoping for like Portugal, uh,
Nah,
Espana. I got a
no way.
feeling, obviously honorary Espana this week for myself. But I was hoping that I was going to get a bit of that. But then my mum's messaging me today. I've got him a helmet. I've got some elbow pads.
Oh, nice. Sick.
So yeah, screwed. Yeah,
Yeah.
pitch.
See, I haven't got to deal with that at the moment, but
When we played, mate, it was probably 48, 40, 60, 80 quid a month.
not now.
Fucking Basingstoke before with the Planet Ice monies and that, you 200 quid a month, mate. Right, my golf
Well,
membership's not even that.
Golf membership. Oh, that's lucky.
Mine's not even that. That makes me happy.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know what
So
I mean? I wouldn't even spend that on me, but no, obviously, like, gonna get a little man into it. I just hope that they do mate. If we could have after the job that they did over Romford, sign me up because Bainstoke's disgrace. You
even if you
paid
get
their
like a
pitch.
split out where they go in and just gut it and just put something new in and make it a little bit more like what they did at Chelmsford and what they did at Slough and what they should have done at Bracknell. Like
Yeah, Brighton was a travesty, mate.
I I drove past there the other day. I'd literally had
Amazon
a
warehouse is now in it.
what's that? Sorry.
Amazon warehouse is now or something. Some bullshit.
No, there is Amazon warehouses fairly close to it though, but I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, you drive down the hill from the Copped Beach now, and you fucking used to see it. Like, but they've kept the sign and everything, and it's very sad to see. Like, fuck, I had four very, very good years of hockey there, and I was there 3 times a week, twice at a weekend for however many years. Is how that happened and come around as quick as it did was like that should never have been allowed. There should have yeah, that should never have been allowed to be taken away from that community and the people that live there. I think it's fucking awful. I do generally feel for everyone in the area because I had the same at Romford. And as I said, we were never supposed to get a new rink and everybody counted it out and this and that. But I'd love them to get a new rink in Bracknell and the Bees be able to be what they were. Because unfortunately, no matter how good the ownership is at Bracknell, which is phenomenal by the way, I don't think they're ever going to be what they were without a rink in Bracknell.
The Berkshire Bees doesn't have the same ring to it, does it,
It
bro?
had the same ring and sting to it, unfortunately. So
But it was like the London Raiders and all that. And I kept calling them Romford. They were going, it's London. I was like, look, I've been spat at by them fans. It's fucking Romford.
oh, scumbags, mate. Absolute scumbags.
I played the Ron Valley way, mate. I was like, it's like the old adage that you can take the boy out of Basingstoke, but you never take the Basingstoke out of the boy. So I think Romford, yeah, like yeah, you call them fucking London all you want, but like to
What the
me,
price that was.
yeah, mate, Ron Valley way, like I remember once when Scrams had moved from Romford to Slough, and we got there 2 hours early for a game. And Ambler's old man's fucking radio, like CD player, got pinched out the car while we were waiting for that pre-game warm up.
Yeah.
And I was like, "You played here last year?" And I was like, "Yeah, the Thieves don't care about that.
They don't give a fuck, mate. They
They
don't
don't
give
give
a
a shit
fuck.
about that." But like, it was character building. Having to walk down the same walkway into the locker rooms after a brawl. That was character building because
Yeah.
you don't have your morals and you didn't go down them stairs lively enough. Someone like Chocky's going to punch you in the back of the head. You haven't been bothered before.
Yeah.
Like, but it was a character building ice rink, and if you could win there, even if Romford weren't the best team in the EPL back then, even if they were like say
Struggled playing it.
8th to 8th, and you were first and second, it wasn't a fucking doddle going in there. Like you're going in there, you're going to battle, man. Like you're battling fans, you're battling the announcer, you're battling like everybody, and there's a lot to be said for that, and I hope we don't lose that in UK hockey. I know I'm a bit of a dinosaur, and I like the
No,
game.
I like it. That's how I prefer it. Old school's the best way.
Old school is the best way. Pitch, I've kept you way too long. You're gonna have to go and do some push-ups in the garage or something. I know you're gonna go to the gym and get a little sweat on.
Now, not now.
But Pitch, I really do appreciate your time.
No, cheers, buddy.
4,000 counting charity game, Slough, Saturday, August the 10th. Tickets are available, ticketlab.co.uk/4,000 counting. Adults and child, just search 4,000 counting 4.0. Players have been announced. We have more to come. If you missed it, please go check out our live on Facebook from Saturday night, I believe, Saturday, Sunday, whatever it was. It's on there. You'll find all the players on there. There's some absolute studs. We've got Tate Shudra, we've got TJ Anderson, we've got all sorts of young guys that can throw dangles out there. Can't wait for you guys to come down, support the event. Jersey designs will be in my lap tomorrow. So as this released, it will be today. As soon as they're in my lap and I approve, they will be out to you good folks. You better get your own and loans. You'll be able to get a shirt off the backs and everything in between. But for now, this has been JJ Pitchley. I've been Nicky Watt. It's been 4,000 counting, and it has actually been such a pleasure to be back. I will not be waiting so long. There'll be another one coming along very, very soon. Pitch, great first guest to have back. Fucking pleasure, mate.
Yeah.
And that just rolled off an hour and a half real quick, buddy. Like we just
Good.
That was good fun, mate. That was good fun. You made me realize I fucking missed it. I didn't think I missed it.
Good. Glad to see you back. Get some more out.
It's good to be back, folks. Honestly, it really is good to be back. I'm happy to be back. My phone arrives back in my hands tomorrow as well. I can retire this fucking phone that is like honestly, this phone's older than half the guys in the fucking HL1. I can retire that. I can get my phone back. I'll be back on socials. Be back doing all your lovables and dovables. We'll get all the hot topics going. JJ, thank you very much. Best of luck with the new business. Best of luck, 24, 25, and no doubt we will catch up throughout the season. Ladies and gents, peace. See you again very, very soon for the next one.
See you later.